So all you will need today is your small ball. If you know you like your headrest, kneeling pad, those kind of things, have it. Weight's definitely optional. It's just when we do some rollbacks on the sit-ups, it adds a little bit of intensity, those kind of things. So anything like that will work. Shoulders down and away, and just give yourself a little rocking back and forth. As you do that, take an inhale, exhale. Breathe as you go. Sorry. Inhale as you come up, lift the heart. Exhale as it comes down. If you're a little tight and you're rolling down, put your hands on your quads. Otherwise, down you go, switch hands. Inhale as you come up, and as you roll down, take a look at your feet and make sure you're not staggered with one foot in front of the other. A lot of times we will tend to do that. When you go, let's reverse it here. And then all the way down, and we're going a little deeper each time. If you want a little lateral rotation in your hips, go ahead and take it and bring it down. We're going to do one last little roll. Inhale up, breathe out through the mouth, exhale down, press that ball either into the knees, shins, or down to the floor, and press those legs towards straight. Just look through to your legs, through to your ankles. Give a little roll back and forth, or rocking back and forth. Soften your shoulders. If you can, look through your legs to your knees so your head is dangling. And then bend the knees, drop the tailbone, articulate up, bring your hands in tight, stretch it up, squeeze that ball a little bit, and just give me a little press behind your headline. Tuck your elbows in and just lift your heart a little bit so your elbows are aiming up to the sky, your head is going up. You're kind of lying back like a pillow with your ball. And then as you come forward, I want you to tuck that ball into your abdomen nice and tight and fold over it in a rounded position. Let your arms dangle. Take a massive breath here. And then exhale, unfold, grab that ball, bring it all the way up, shoulders down, tuck it in behind, squeeze those elbows in towards your neckline or headline, and then lift the heart, little extension. And then exhale, bring it back again. We're going to round. We're going to tuck that right into our pelvis and belly. We're going to try and lift our ribs over the ball and then round down. So it's forcing us into that rounded tailbone position. Drop your tailbone heavy. So right here, if you're kind of going into a squat, think of taking that tailbone and dropping it down and then just punch over the ball. You're allowing that rounding. Nice big breath here. Excuse me. Exhale, start to roll out, grab hold of the ball, vertebrae by vertebrae, we extend up, we reach, tuck that into the neckline, tuck your elbows in, and inhale, give me a little extension going in the reverse direction. And then one more time all the way around, really push it right into your pubic bone and into your belly, and then let your ribs kind of float up and over as you tuck that into your abdomen, and then float down. Take a little breath here. Drop your tailbone a little deeper. Now, as you go deeper, you might suddenly feel like you're going to roll backwards. Only go as deep as your knees, hips, ankles will invite. Big breath here. So I'm counterbalancing with my arms. And then I'm going to slowly come up, grab hold of that ball, reach it nice and strong, shoulders down into back pockets, bend those elbows in, and I'm going to lift that heart going into the opposite direction for the spine. And then exhale, find its center. Relax those shoulders. Bring the hands behind. Hold the ball. Now, if that's too tight, go wider, right? Otherwise, we're going to hold that ball, and I'm holding it really loose. I'm not big there. If you can grab even tighter, you can. I'm a little tight this morning, and I'm going to lift those shoulders up for a little bit of shoulder extension, and then bring it down. Now, if that's tight, you can bend the elbows a little bit, right? Or bend the knees. Watch that you're not kind of leaning forward to make it happen. Bend the knees, soften it, and lift and lower. Again, not happening. One arm holding the ball, and then bring them together at the back, and then the other arm and bring it together. And again, if you can, not jammed out straight legs, but just slightly soft. Go two more and down, excuse me, and one more and down. Then bring that forward. Roll those shoulders. Go ahead and reach it to the top. And I've just got it in one arm. I'm going to come all the way around. I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to take that arm. I'm going to saw it across. I'm going to push that ball. And then if I'm okay, I'm going to straighten the legs. If I'm not okay, I'll stay bent. And I'm going to rotate. Now, if I'm okay in my rotation, I'm going to reach that top arm to the sky, opening it. Take an inhale. Maybe my neck can look up there as well. Exhale, bring it in and switch sides. So wiggle that ball, push it away. Again, if you're tight, the knees stay bent as you push that ball away. I look to the sky. I reach that palm up. If I'm okay, I'm going to straighten out those legs, saw a bit farther into rotation. Big breath here. And exhale, bring it all the way back to center. Bend the knees, drop the tailbone, curl the spine, roll it up. And I'm going to shoulder roll as I wiggle the legs. I'm just holding my elbows soft. And I'm going into protraction, retraction, elevation, depression, right? And then reverse direction on that shoulder girdle. Just rolling those shoulders out. Find yourself in passive squat. Let's reach it up. Give me an extension up here. And then come all the way down right to the floor. Big passive squat. Put some pressure into that ball. If you're a little tight, start with your knees. Play there a bit. Feeling okay. Get a little lower with your ball on the ground. Still okay. Maybe you're coming right down. Maybe you can place that ball down and move it away a little bit and start to spin. Right? Just kind of listen to where your body will go. I'm changing my hand position. I'm going to move that ball just for a second. I'm changing my hand position. I'm knuckles down. Right? So I'm getting a stretch that way. And then I'm going to palm down, but bring my hands in closer. So I'm starting to get a little bit movement there. Maybe I'll get my shoulder going. Now I'm going to turn my fingertips back towards me. Inhale, exhale. Remember, if this is tough here, you can kind of play with it on your thighs, right? You don't have to be all the way down there. And then I'm going to turn my fingers to face me, but put my palm upside down. Again, I'm not weight bearing in this position. It's not meant to hold my weight. So I'm just doing enough just to get my wrists kind of worked and warmed. And then go ahead and roll those wrists a little bit. Grab hold of that ball. And then slowly stack it all the way up. As I start to come up, I'm going to bring my feet back into a bit more parallel. And then slowly come up. Wiggle into those hips. Roll those shoulders. Reach that. Tuck it into the small again. And then lift that heart. Open it up. Bring it all the way out. Bring it down. And let's get a little lateral going. So parallel sits. Reach one arm. And then over we go. Good strong reach. Let your hips go the opposite direction. The closer, the more aggressive this will be. So decide how those laterals are feeling. Glance to the floor. Lean the hips out. Give me a little stir of the pot. So I'm trying to actively reach that top arm as I do this. Then stir the other direction. Look to the floor and let that arm reach, stretch it as you bring your top arm down and roll through the center. So almost like in a roll up hundreds. And then bring it all the way up. Give a few little wiggles. Grab it with the other hand. Reach it. As you reach it, not the shoulder, right? Shoulder stays down. Arm goes up. And then over we go. Now here you're going to give a little extra stretch. You're going to lean into the hips. Look to the floor. Stir the pot. Mind's eye. Was there a big difference between the left and the right as you did that? Bigger breaths are going to give you more stretch. Go ahead and circle the opposite direction. Leave that arm dangling. Come back so you're straight on both legs, like you're feeling pressure on both legs. And then fold it through the center. And then bring it to hundreds and then roll it up. So let's find our feet in just parallel sits bones. Reach one arm and let's do a little bow and arrow. So I'm going to add rotation here. I'm pulling to my shoulder. Now my headline's going to look as far as I can. I'm going to underhand sweep and reach that without my pelvis going. Big breath in rotation. I'm going to bring it back. Same side 2 more times. Bow and arrow. Take a peek. Sweep it open. Bring it back. One more time. Bow and arrow. Peekaboo. Sweep. Bring it open. Shrug it off. Other side. Both arms reaching. Don't overreach with one. As you're reaching, if you can see your shoulders in peripheral, set them up. Set up your scaps. Pull first. Take a peek. Oh, dumbass side. Stretch it out. Bring it all the way back. 2 more. Inhale. Peekaboo. Everything's just a natural breath. Stretch it open. Bring it back. Don't let the pelvis go. Pull. Peek. Stretch. Bring it all the way back. Roll those shoulders. Sneak yourself to the end of your mat and just put your ball down gently for now. Find yourself in your parallel sits, reach, and let's do our first roll down. So coming down all the way, bend knees, hips, ankles, or not first roll down, but free one. So I'm nice and low here. I'm going to walk out in 4, 3, angry cat position, 2 and 1, or 4-point stance, should I say. Spread out your fingers, get your base of support nice and big. Pull your abs in, scapular movement. So just those little sternum drops. Drop through the shoulder blades, press away. Neutral spine, neutral pelvis. So you're allowing your natural curve to exist here. So don't pull your abs up where it's causing you to tuck your tailbone into posterior tilt. You want to feel the natural movement. Now go ahead and stay in the pressed away. Curl the toes under, and we haven't done a big curl yet. So go ahead and give them a good curl and sink your weight back. So there's that little pins and needles happening on the back of the foot. Shoulders are down. Go ahead and just kind of cycle forward and backwards into that nasty pins and needles. Remember, what we're looking for is that my heels are not going way out to the side. I'm not sickling into my baby toes. Trying to get my big toe underneath. So maybe I'll look through my legs, and if I see that sickle, I can see it happening. I'm going to try and put more pressure into the toes. Again, osteoarthritis, bunions, anything like that is going to cause a different type of movement happening there. Honor that. Don't fight yourself. One more time. Now stay in this nice curled up position. We're going to wake up that plank. Lift an inch. Nice and strong. Oh, before you lift an inch, remember me, let's put that ball between the inner thigh. Let's slide that baby in there. So go ahead and lift your inch. Nice and strong, neutral spine, neutral pelvis. So if you're dropped in your shoulder blades, press away so you've got some power. And now squeeze your inner thighs. Press, press, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. 5, 4, 3, don't let your head drop. 2, 1, slowly come down. Uncurl the toes, paddle them out if that's kind of getting a hello there for you. And then tuck that ball into your abdomen. So I want you to round, tuck it into your pubic bone like you did in warm-up. Maybe even bring your knees in closer, see how it feels, and fold forward. Oh, forward breathing. So feel a little tightness in my lower back. My head can't get down there. My neck is not happy. I'm going to block head. I'm going to put my 2 fists down as I roll over. If I'm okay and I can reach my hands behind and get a little more rounding in there, I will. Couple really big breaths again, forcing that rounding through the spine. And then slowly sit back on your heels and roll up. Knees don't like it. Sit back and come up tall. Slide that ball in again. We're going to add some rotation. Hands strong. Push away, find power. Curl those toes. Watch, not sickling. Lift an inch. From here, we're going to move our knees to one side, yet our shoulders stay still to the front. And then bring back. When I come back, I sort of step. Otherwise, I find my feet start to move out. Rotate and center. Exhale, rotate the hips and the knees. Inhale, center. 2 more. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Now this time, rotate. Stay in the rotation. Let your feet come connected to the floor and reach to that sky. Yeah. And then use your abdominals to unwind. Step with the toes. Drop your heels. So both heels, my front foot is actually right down flat. I reach. I bring it back. One more time. Rotate and reach. Now, if you can, peekaboo right up to the sky. Reach it. Big inhale. Stretch it out. Bring it right back. Last one. Rotate. Booty goes off. Stretch that arm. Reach. Bring it all the way back. That's just nasty. Let the ball drop. Come up and find your first little down dog, guys. Take your time here. This is the first hit we've gotten into those glutes and hamstrings as well as the calf line. I like to hold my mat, totally against tradition, but I'm going to hold my mat with my ring finger, baby finger. I'm going to spread out my 3 dominant fingers and my thumb. I'm going to paddle into my toes and my heels. Sneak your shoulders away from your back pockets or into your back pockets, away from your shoulders. Now, if you can, drop both heels and drop into your chest line. Too tight, lift the heels, bend the knees, still drop into that chest line. One more big breath. And then rise up, bring the knees all the way down, uncurl the toes, and press back into that gentle child's pose. I'm going to use the ball onto my forehead. Couple little breaths here. One more. And then come back up into your 4-point stance. So we're just going to move that ball off to the side for this one. Push away nice and strong. I want you to think of the Miss America sash. So inner thigh, internal oblique, external oblique, pec line, making a sash across your body. Once you have that sensation of sass, a little sassy going on, reach the one arm without popping and rotating your shoulders, and then bring that arm down. We're just going to work on the one side. Reach just the one arm, bring it down. Notice the crisscross of the obliques stabilizing that arm coming off. Now keep that hand down. Without shifting your weight, I want you to stretch your opposite leg to that arm. Keep the foot down and just find straight here. As you find straight, sneak that hand that we were reaching with. So my right hand is going to my left rib hip. Feel that. As you squeeze your ass cheek and lift the leg. Don't lose your back into arch. So we're strong here. And then we're going to lower and lift that foot. This hand is just holding by my rib hip, making sure I'm not losing my nice posture as I lift lower. Now, if you have it, take that hand off, and we're going to load the spine in both directions. I'm going to lift and lower. My arm is now reaching. 4 more. 3 more. So stabilization in the 2 points on the ground. 2 more. And 1. Bring it all the way back in, and just lean back, roll off that wrist. So same progression on the other side. Give those hands a little, anything, just play a little bit. Relax off your hands. Come back into that 4 point. Shoulders down and away, push away from the floor so you're not sinking here, right? Here I'm hanging in my bones, and if you can see, you can probably see my shoulder blades. They're totally winging and they're tilted. Right? I want to push away and find strength there. My middle finger is straight up the mat. And I'm just going to start my opposite arm reaching. It's just going to reach. If you're a hyperextender through the elbow joint, soften those elbows. Those are things that's really hard for me to see on the video. Just be mindful. Look at your own elbow. Is it hyperextended? Now go ahead, leave that hand down. Pull those abs in to support your spine. We're neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Reach that leg. Keep the bottom of the foot or the top of the foot on the ground. Sneak that hand to rib hip. Make sure you have an arch. You've got a natural arch, but not a large one. Squeeze the glute and let's go lower left. The leg is long and straight. The shoulders drawn down. The head is reaching out of the spine. And then that hand is going to come out, and we're going to alternate, same side, but alternate lift lower. Let's go 5. Don't let your spine move. 4. Pull everything in. 3. One shoulder's really working hard, stabilizing. 2. And 1. Bring that foot back down. Curl those toes. Up we go. Down dog. Dig here a little bit. Whatever feels good. Take some little side to sides. Inhale, exhale, wiggle your tailbone off to one side, wiggle it off to the other. So now we're getting that lateral happening there, right? And then rise up, bring it down one last time. We're going to do a little thread the needle. So this hand that's staying on the floor, my right hand is going to come in too close and internally rotate. My fingertips are facing in my body. This hand is going to thread through. I could use the ball. It's more aggressive. I'm not going to. Reach that hand through at an angle as far as you can, trying to tuck your shoulder under. And then get that shoulder under, peekaboo to the sky. And then slightly down to your back hip. If you're okay here, reach that arm. Still okay, wrap it behind the hip. Pull this shoulder open. Woo! Nice big breath here, guys. And as you exhale, unwind your pretzel. So that hand unwinding now internally rotates at the shoulder. Fingertips point in, a little closer than what would be 4-point stance. I'm going to thread that shoulder through, get that shoulder down, peek to the sky, tighter side for me on the neckline. Instead of looking to the sky, I'm going to look through my nose down to my hip. Maybe I'll reach, maybe I'll link and rotate. Couple huge breaths, stretching out that whole line down the shoulder. A little bit of levator getting stretched there. You'll feel it right into your shoulder blade if you're a bit tight. Bring that hand down. Come all the way out. Find your hands what feels too far forward. And let's go ahead and come forward and backwards. Get a little more hip mobility. As we start this, I want you to start to sink your belly down a bit. Stay connected here on this sink, right? So don't let your belly totally go. Give your back some support, but get a little lower and lower each time. Now, if your body's going down, that does not feel good. Go to your elbows. And just go here. So the range is a little less on that spine. One more time and fold it all the way down. So the farther on a floppy push-up, we're doing our floppies, the farther my hands are forward, the more my thoracic spine is going to get that lengthening sensation. Nothing wrong with that. If I know it's the lower back that has the issues, I want to start to creep my hands farther back, causing me to go deeper into the lower back. So remember on this one, butt is relaxed, belly is relaxed, and you're looking for movement in the spine. The minute you feel clenching of a body part, come down, because it means you're fighting that movement in your spine. So just listen to how that spine feels and just slowly work into that. Now, if you get to a spot where you're like, okay, I feel good, I'm comfortable here, go ahead and wiggle a little bit. Just give that nice little wiggle. Might notice a couple creaks and cracks happening there. I don't care if your shoulders are up around your ears. It's irrelevant on this. We're trying to support the full body weight here. And then slowly come down. So go ahead and actively reach your legs, parallel or slightly turned out, but open as comfortable. Find that ball and stick it into your xiphoid process. So if I went up my rib cage to that little point where it meets in the triangle, that's where my ball is. Now, if this right here is aggressive and you're like, no, I actually can't hold my back here, you're going to move that ball out farther so you're a little lower down. All right, you can be lower down. From here, my hands are on the floor, my shoulders are dropping down. I'm going to pull my abs up and in. So now I'm no longer weight bearing into the ball, I'm pulling up. I'm not off the ball, but I definitely have now this awareness as how much pressure I've got into the ball. So I want minimal pressure into the ball, shoulders down. If your neck is okay, look forward, and then draw your abs up. So we're supporting this. So I'm trying not to fall into the ball with my weight load. I'm trying to lift it off, but I'm not away from the ball. Now find big, big breaths here. As you get tired, you might feel yourself sinking into that ball a little deeper. Keep your retraction, keep your heart lifted, turn on those back extensors. The butt is not squished and reaching. You're reaching, but the glutes are not squishing, right? They're not turned on. Squishing, what a horrible way of describing that. Just go. Sorry, guys. They're not clenching. That would be better, maybe. I'm just going to shut up now. One more big breath. We're just got to get the words happening today eventually. Tuck your elbows out and out of the way and let your body actually use your toes, curl them under, push forward a little bit and let yourself fold forward over that ball. Relax your shoulders down. So here I'm just letting everything relax. I'm going to take my arms, I'm going to reach them down by my sides and actually let my shoulders drip down towards the mat here. We're going to come back to this. I just want you to feel this rounded sensation for a minute. And then massive breaths into your back breath. One more. Slip your hands in place, push. Leave that ball at the top of your mat, curl your toes, find your little down dog, play there a little bit, stretch things out. Hot your toes now, right? Those toes we're going to go into full pouncing cat here. So now I'm going to leave my feet out there. I'm going to come nice and strong into a full plank. All those points now in set position, but my tailbone slightly tucked now. I'm going to go back and forth. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So getting some mobility through the shoulders now. If this is working for me, I'm going to bring my feet in closer together and I'm going to drive a knee forward as I come through that plank. If that's not happening for you, leave your feet on the floor, both, or go down to your knees. Go two more. One more. Stay here, lift the hips, walk your feet slowly into your hands. Bend your knees as you need to. So I'm all the way in. I'm looking through my knees. I'm dangling my spine tight on the back, tight on the hamstrings. Bend your knees, ragdoll for me. One more. And then grab that ball, bend those knees, and slowly peel to tall. Roll those shoulders. Give a few little wiggles. Find yourself in with your feet in lateral rotation. My toes are into the corners of my mat. I'm just going to do some passive squats. If you're feeling ambitious today, stand up, sit down. We're doing 4 in total, so squat or roll. So I'm going to go down and tuck. I'm feeling pretty tight. I don't think I'm going to get up. So I'm just going to stand up here. If you're feeling good, roll. Yeah, there you go. Nice, Lisa. I'm not sure my spine is going to do that. We're going to try. We're going to roll. And yep, that is not going to happen in my body today. We're going to go 2 more. Choose where you're going to go. I'm just going to continue to give these nice little sit-down stand-ups, but I'm not actually going to roll. Go 1 more time. Just honor that body, right? Some days it's going to happen. Some days it's going to be like, hell no. Mine's a hell no today. Go ahead and stay down here, and you're just going to give 1 roll to sit up on your booty. So just roll, and then sit nice and tall on that booty. Yeah, send your legs out. Now, if you're a little tight here, you're going to bend the knees, right? Or you're going to sit up on a block, or even still, and you got to be careful with it, but you could could I sit here? Yeah, I could. If I really have a squishy ball, it's got a bit of air out of it, this is going to throw me forward into a nice little position. So that's an option. I could put that ball in between my inner thighs quite high up, And then I'm going to reach my arms and see them in peripheral. Shoulders drop down. Let's get some twist here. Make sure you're not kind of pulling in one hip. Inhale, rotate. Inhale, rotate. Inhale, rotate. Look to the backhand. Open that up. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate. Grow. Inhale, rotate. Grow. Inhale, rotate. Look to the backhand. Massive breath. And center. One more time each way. Mind's eye, are you gripping your quadriceps for all they're worth? Soften your knees. Don't grip your quads. Bring it back. They are assisting, but they don't need to be death gripped. Inhale, rotate. If you're gripping, bend your knees a bit. Inhale, rotate, sit tall, and rotate. Look to the back arm. Exhale, center. Release that out. Roll those shoulders. Scoot yourself towards the front of the mat. Make sure there's nothing behind you. We're rolling like a ball. The tighter I place that ball up into my knees, the more aggressive the rounding will be. Again, I had a hard time today with stand-up, sit-down, so that's not going to be a great option for me. So I'm going to go heels and just bring it a little farther. Sorry, other way around. Heels is tighter, up higher is more forgiving. Rounding the spine, I'm going to take my tailbone to the sky, and then I'm going to freeze to hold. Inhale, tailbone to sky, and freeze to hold. Notice if you're pulling to one side or the other. As you do this, the distance between my knees and my shoulders stays the same, and the distance between my heels and my sits bones tries to stay the same. The ball is stopping us from kicking our feet to do this. Watch you're also not throwing your neckline. One more time. Inhale, exhale, stay here, reach those legs out long, and sit to tall. Give a little booty wiggle. Extend up into that spine, and then take that ball, sneak it into the small of the lower back. So I'm just going to back up a little bit here. This is a great place if you're choosing weights. We're going to do some roll downs. Half roll to start with, half curl. So I've got that ball. I'm reaching my arms. I'm soft in my shoulders. I'm going to reach, and I'm going to come forward over my body. And then as I exhale, I'm going to scoop and roll back. So if you feel you're not getting enough support, move your bum in towards your heels a bit more so this ball gives you a bit more support. So I'm going to roll forward. And then exhale and roll back. One more time. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, roll back. Now stay in the back for me. If your shoulders are kind of way up here, soften them. Scoop. This difference between chin and chest. Without looking at your arm, fold it open. Bring it in. Now the other side. Inhale, fold it open. Don't let your pelvis rotate. Bring it in. Now go ahead and look at that arm as you take it open. I'm not changing my abs. I'm not moving back and forth. I am holding isometrically with the abdominal crunch, and I'm adding a rotation. Now, if that's happening for me, weights in arms, rotate, and bring it in. That makes a huge difference. Rotate. I'm going to get rid of mine. Again, I'm just pulling awkwardly, but if you'd like to add it. Now, we're going to add on one thing. As we open, I'm going to roll back a little bit, and then sweep and give a deeper crunch. Inhale, roll back a little bit. Exhale, sweep. One more each way. Inhale, roll back, open. Exhale, sweep. And last time, inhale, open. Don't let your knees sway to the opposite direction. And sweep. Press that forward. Hands go behind. I am pointing my fingertips away. I'm going to lift into beach pose. Lift that breastbone, switch that spine. Open it up. And then come right up into your hands. And I'm going to move that ball between my shoulder blades now. Between my shoulder blades. Might need to move forward. And then I'm just going to roll down. If I know my neckline is funky for any reason, you can just bring your weights close again. I could put a pad underneath. Otherwise, I'm going to support my neck and I'm just going to give a little arch. Try and see if I can get both elbows to the ground. And then bring those elbows in a little bit as I not really crunch, but just fold up. Inhale, open. Don't think of it as ab work. Have a gentle pulling of the abdominals, but don't come any higher than just a natural curve. Go two more. Open it. Exhale, crunch in. Big, massive breath as you inhale back there, you guys. Hold back here. Could you take your hands away? If you can, go ahead. Give me just snow angels. If you can't give me snow angels and let go of your neckline, get a pillow and get it underneath that neck so that you can let go and move through your upper torso. Lower torso feels good. Straighten out the legs. Here we're going to go up over the head like 11s and circle round. So big snow angels. Up and over, parallel, and then snow angel. Reverse that. Bring your arms up. Now, as your hands come over the head, once the hands are kind of right in your vision, I want you to cervical nod and roll up with those arms. If you need your hands behind your head, go ahead. We're going to circle wide as we go arch. Watch the railway tracks come up parallel and reach. Let's go 2 more. Open and exhale. Reach. Remember, you can slide your hands underneath your head if you need to, you guys. 1 more time. Open. And we're going to stay in this nasty roll up. I'm going to bring my feet in tighter. Now, if I'm feeling good, I don't have to bend my knees in. I'm going to move back a little farther on my ball. So now it's basically still, it's not on lumbar spine. It's still where the rib cage is, but it's lower. I'm going to interlace my hands and I'm going to now do a more purposeful arch and curl. So now I'm supporting my head, but I'm curling a little deeper. Feeling good, straighten out those legs. Ooh. They can be open as comfortable. Watch here, you haven't pulled into one side of your pelvis more than the other. And we're exhaling as we're reaching up. If this feels good, I'm going to march a leg in and then stretch it out. So I'm not turning on the oblique, but I am turning on the obliques because I'm lifting a leg off. I can do that from the bent knee position as well, right? Go 2 more. If I'm really feeling ambitious, I am going to go into a scissor leg and reach long. 2 more. And reach long. 1 more time. And reach long. And then lie that back for a little stretch. If the ball's sort of in the wrong place, roll a little higher. So now it's in between your shoulder pads again. Shoulder blades. If you need a headrest, please grab it. Reach the arms all the way around. Cervical nod. And you might need to bend the knees to do this or straight legs. You're going to scoop as you come all the way forward into that forward stretch. Here I'm going to wiggle my tailbone from left to right. If my knees or hamstrings are a bit tight, I'll bend my knees. Let your head just dangle. Take a couple breaths in here. And then stack from your tailbone, heel to toe. Grab that ball. Carefully roll it back. And then we're putting the ball in the sacrum. So I'm going to lift up and I'm going to put it, when I lie down on the ball, if I feel the ball and then I feel my gluteal fold or the end of my butt cheeks, that kind of makes a straight line. It's not higher than that. It's not farther out than that. If I want the weights, I can just place them beside. We're going to go into toe taps here. So give me a slightly supported spine. Now, if you're feeling really unstable in the pelvis today, use a block under your hips or a foam roller. Don't use the ball. The ball is not very stable. So I'm going to bring my forearm up. And then I've got a supported spine, knee fold one, knee fold the other. Automatic habit is going to be pulling those knees in and rounding that spine. I want to keep a tabletop and I want to keep a brick wall in front of my quad. From here, I'm going to do a very gentle toe tap. Don't let anything deviate between the rib and the hip, the upper torso and the lower torso. Working for you, you're going to go to heel tap because that's a couple inches longer because of the length of your foot. Still working for you, you're going to reach those arms to the sky. Hold there. See how that's working for you. Still working for you. You're going to double the arms so the arms go over equal as one leg goes out and then comes in. So you're loading and unloading. If I'm okay, I'll go to straight leg. If I'm still okay, I could go to straight leg scissor. So one leg is holding, reaching to the sky. The other leg is reaching away. As you load, which means your arms and your legs are going down the spine, and unload, they're both reaching to the sky now, you're going to find that the back really wants to arch. And you've really got to pull those abs up and in to either keep it neutral or slightly supported. If your shoulders are jumping in, bend your elbows and come down this way. I just decreased my lever length by keeping a bend in my elbow. Go one more time on whatever variation was working for you. And then bring it to tabletop, bent knees. Keep the arms still. Knit your ribs in. Notice if you are completely crooked, which I am. Double toe tap down, nice and slow. And don't yank it up like a bungee cord. Slowly pull it up. So it's like you're pulling your legs out of quicksand. You're dipping your legs in. It's freezing cold water. You're going to go slow. And then you're pulling them out of quicksand, nice and slow. That's working for you. The arms go just as slow over the head. Don't let your ribs pop. and then slowly bring in. Mind's eye is 1 foot touching down and 1 hand touching down sooner than the other if you're getting all the way down there. If it still feels good, you can straighten out those legs. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't, and pull it in. 2 more of whatever you chose. Whatever you chose, make it as symmetrical as you can. Use your breath. 1 more time. Lengthen it out, pull those abs in nice and strong. Bring it all the way in. Lower 1 foot carefully, lower the other. Keep it here, and just give me some pecs. We're going to inhale, open, exhale, close. So I'm just now in a neutral alignment, and I'm just opening. Keep both arms up. Move 1 arm out. Bring it in. Move the other arm out. Bring it in. Turning on Miss America sash, but now you've got to focus really on not letting that body twist from left to right. Go 1 more time on each. Again, you don't have to be weighted. You can if you want. Weighted is going to make it harder to hold, right? And then bring those arms all the way down. Let that go. Move to get rid of that hip flexor that might feel a bit tight. Move the ball out your butt a little bit. So now the ball is farther out than my butt cheeks. And I'm just going to laterally rotate and extend those legs out. My pubic bone is now higher than my ASIS, which means I'm in a posterior tilt, but I'm inviting that. That posterior tilt will allow you to get into the hip flexors a bit more. So give me a little wiggle from left to right. If it feels okay to bring that hip all the way off to the side and just get that little rotation going, go right ahead. And just go left and right. Bring it back to center. Drag your legs up. Move the ball what feels a little too far forward so that your pubic bone can drop forward. So instead of being in line with my gluteal folds, I now have some space here. Careful with this one. It's an anterior tilt. Right, so I'm going to go to anterior tilt and then gently find neutral. Anterior tilt, gently find neutral. So that ball is quite out the butt, so I've got some distance between the ball and my glutes. And I'm tilting my pubic bone down. So now my ASIS is higher than my pubic bone, and then I'm bringing it back to neutral. Very careful here. A lot of our spines are not great at anterior tilting. You don't want to fire up the back extensors. That's why the ball is there. 1 more little tilt. I'm just inviting a little bit of mobility in that spine. And then bring it to neutral. Bring your feet in tight. Lift your hips nice and strong. Get that ball out. So we're going to transition, roll it down into our hamstrings. Line the ball up with your pubic bone. Put your feet on. Now, if you know you have crampy hamstrings, feet on the floor parallel. Bridge. Hip rolls. Right? If you're okay, you're going to bring your feet in tight. Relax your toes. Relax your heels. I have that super tight into my sits bones, so it's not quite so aggressive on the hammies. Hands are down, and then I'm going to roll my spine up, and there is the instability, my inner thighs and my glutes. Try and see if you can squeeze those legs together. If you're okay, you can reach the arm. If you're still okay, you can reach the arms with your weight load. And instead of curling, I'm going to bridge. I'm coming down as one big unit, and exhale, pressing my hips up. Inhale down, go slow. Exhale up. So if you're keeping yourself in neutral in this bridge position, when you come down and touch gently, it should be your glutes that touch and your sacrum versus your lower back, lumbar, belly button area, right? Because of the natural curves of the spine, you will not necessarily feel the middle of that spine touch down. That's okay. If that's getting sore for you, give me a bit more of a supported spine in which then you might feel the belly button go down there. Now hold it up here, and we're going to go butterflies. Open the legs and close them. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Let's go 4. Keep those abs in strong. Try not to articulate the spine. You're bridging it. Go 2 more. If you have a headrest, make sure you get rid of it. That's hard for me to see here. Keep your knees right together, arms reaching, squeeze your butts up. Squeeze, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open. Bring that nastiness down. Bring that ball in. Slide your butt underneath again. Now this time it's pushing out the butt end, right? It's quite a bit out. One leg goes long or it stays bent, and your other knee is coming in. I'm slightly laterally rotated. From here, I'm going to get an individual hamstring stretch. I'm going to straighten that leg up towards the sky and bring it in. If it feels okay, I'm going to use my hand to pull myself in a little bit more parallel position to get the hamstring stretch. Now, if you can just hold it here, great. If you need a stretch strap, great. If you need to get rid of that ball underneath your bum, go ahead, that's good too. So I'm just stretching into that hamstring. Slowly bring that leg down. Remember, if it's feeling really unstable, take the ball out. Reset, let's do the other leg. I'm going to start with that hip flexor getting opened on the leg that's lying long on the ground. I'm going into a deep lateral flexion, lateral rotation and flexion in the front leg. And if I'm okay with it, I'll start to bend and straighten. I've also added a little point and flex just so I get my ankle happening in there, which involves my calf then. If it feels good, I'll keep it out there. Use your stretch strap. On or off the ball, up to you guys. And then I'm going to bring that leg more into parallel. Again, watch don't fall off your ball here, you guys. And find that hamstring stretch happening here. Bring those feet down, lift the hips, move that ball out of the way. And we're going to go tabletop. Grab behind your legs, roll that up. Fingers pointing same direction as booty or out to the side. Definitely not this way, right? From here, make sure your heels are lined up equally so you don't have one foot in front of the other. And then press into your hips. Look to make sure everything feels pretty good. The knees aren't waving out to the side. And then if you're okay, you're going to roll those shoulders open. Exhale, touch that tailbone down. Neutral here. Press up in neutral. So just a neutral press. And inhale and down. Let's go 2 more. Exhale, press. Inhale down. And 1 more time. Exhale, press. Stay here. Stay here. Squeeze those glutes. Inhale, exhale. If you can, lift your heels, lower your heels. Ooh. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Go 2 more. Try and keep that long spine happening. 1 more time. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Hinge, come all the way down. Beautiful. That leg closest to the front of the mat, you're just going to reach it, grab your ball, and you're just going to lie long. Now, if you have any issues lying long, you're going to reach this arm, and you can put the ball here, or better yet, because I'd like to use the ball on the lower half, put a pillow or something. Then from there, I'm going to roll back just a little bit. If I'm not feeling too unstable, I'm going to put my outside ankle bone straight out from my hip socket on that ball. And then I'm going to reach the other leg on top of it. If you're piked, if you see your feet in your peripheral vision, straighten out so your hips are open and straight. This hand can go down, abs in, and I'm just going to go into that side leg lift series 1, which is just a lift lower. So I want to be forward. I want to imagine there's a little string attached to my top ASIS pulling me slightly forward, so I'm not rolling back on my booty. So I shouldn't feel my quad and my hip flexor. I should feel my glute med, right? So if you put your hand kind of right here, and it's not the big belly of your butt cheek you're feeling, but it's this kind of little side booty, that's perfect. Abs are drawn in for stability. You do not have to use that ball underneath your foot. It will cause the QL to have to kick in. Go ahead and leave that leg there and give me some little circles. Little circles. Inhale, exhale. If you can take your hand off the floor, rib to hip with your fingers, and just watch that you don't notice as you push your leg behind you that you're arching your back. Go 1 more time and then switch directions. Inhale, exhale. Go 2 more. Feel that hip mobility. 1 more. Take that leg, drop it behind. Move your front leg forward and then grab that ball between your ankles and squeeze. You don't have to have the ball. You don't have to. Lift and lower either with the ball or without the ball in doubles. Watch here. You don't feel as you lift your rib cage totally collapse down to the floor. Reach actively with those legs. Go 2 more and last 1. And then you're going to pull that in and grab it. Ugh. As you roll up. Let's find a little mermaid here. So if you know that hip is not happy, mermaid's not really happening nicely, sit and prop yourself up on the ball, which changes the angle here on your hip. So if you need that, go right ahead. If not, just kind of leave that ball somewhere it doesn't run away from you. And let's go lateral flexion over to the back leg side. Big breath there. Again, if you need to prop up those hips, please do so, especially if you're gripping in this front hip, right? Reach it. Rotate the spine. So I'm getting that nice rotation. My butt might lift. I'm fine with that. And just find that elbow bend. So I'm keeping long here. So in order to keep long, to get deeper down, I do have to lift up my leg. Otherwise, my spine will have to change positions. This hand can be down, smaller back, or reaching. It's up to you. If I'm feeling good, I could kick that leg out and bring it in. If I have the mobility, I do not on this side right now. If I have the mobility, when I come up, I could leave this leg out there and then still come up Mine's not happy with that, so I'm going to keep bending that knee in. That will get your QL more, so be careful with it. Go 2 more. And go 1 all the way up. Bring that around, tuck that leg in as you drop that hip and almost kind of slouch back into that position again. Find that nice little stretch, give a little no on the neckline. And then we're going to take those legs and we're just going to bring them all the way to the other side. So again, I'm just going to find myself lying right along the edge of my mat. It's just kind of a nice marker point where then when you reach out, you know everything's on that line. And then you can roll that ball towards your foot, or you can bend the knee to 90 degrees, you can anchor the foot, or you can have it reaching. Stack on top, nice and long. Let's go to our lift lowers. See how this side is working for you. Inhale, exhale. So I am really wobbly on one side right now. Inhale, exhale. So I'm going to keep that hand down maybe. Try to work about trying to take it off. Keep the rib hip the same. Let's go 3 more. Remember, you're not rotating open to the sky. You're keeping that knee and that hip facing your side wall. Massively important, so we find the glute med first, not the TFL, and we don't roll back and find our quad and our hip flexor. Go to your little circles. Shoulders away. Inhale, exhale. And then switch directions. Inhale, exhale. Reach the bottom leg actively. Reach it right out of your hip socket. Feel it active in this exercise. Bring that leg up and around to the back. Move your front leg forward, your bottom leg forward. Squish that ball between both legs and then circle and bring it right back out of your peripheral. And then lift lower. Test the waters here. Take your hand off and see if you can hold stability without rolling back on your booty. If you're rolling back, put your fingertips down so that you're actually finding the right muscles versus fighting it. Let's go inhale, exhale. Go 2 more. Go 1 more. Now pull those knees in, and we're going to grab and lift to come up into our mermaid. Find yourself seated in a comfortable position. Drop that hip down. Try and drop it down. And then reach and go. Remember, you can put a ball underneath your hip if you want, you guys. Reach that. Take a peek to that side. See how that side is feeling. Bring it all the way out. We're going to rotate our spine. Put the hand down. Rotate your torso. And the hand, both hands can go down. Remember, as I go lower, if I want to get right down into a nice long extension parallel to the earth, I will have to bring up my back leg. Otherwise, the spine has to go into flexion. Hand can go behind your back, makes it a bit heavier. Even harder loading the spine is to put that hand forward. Just see how that feels. Inhale, exhale. Working for you, you can extend that back leg. You can keep it extended the whole time if it's good. Let's go 3 more. Turn on that tricep of the one arm on the ground. Tuck your elbow in nice and tight. Last one. Come all the way up. Take the time to tuck your heel in and drop your booty down. Settle into that. If you feel something gripping, just kind of lift and settle. And then go into your lateral 1 more time. Nice big breath. Take a peekaboo to the floor. Try to take the tension out of the neckline. And then bring it all the way out. So we're just going to find ourselves into extension. We had that ball placed. We're going back into that ball position. So bring yourself all the way over onto your belly. And right here, I just want you to wiggle a little bit. Let your glutes go. Let your hips go. If that's a little bit tight, take the elbows a little farther out. Remember, the closer my elbows towards my rib cage and my waistline, the lower that extension is going to go into my back. So if that's a little difficult, you're going to stay out here and wiggle. Now, sneak that ball into your breastbone. Too aggressive, move it higher out of your breastbone. Let yourself go into Superman. So my legs are open as comfortable, maybe a small amount of lateral rotation. I'm reaching my arms behind me, and my shoulders and my head are going to kind of flop forward. So I'm totally flopped here. Pull your abs up and in, nice and strong. Sorry, playing with my microphone. Now, all I want you to do is roll your shoulders back, and then just bring your head in line with your shoulders. And then lift your arms just an inch, so they're just touching the side of your legs. That's it. That's all I want you to do. Inhale, hold your back extensors here, pull your abs in, and exhale, allow everything to go into flexion again. But don't let your tummy go. So glutes do have to gently hold here. Go ahead and lengthen, find Superman. Straighten out those legs, feel that active leg position. And then exhale, the knees bend a bit, the shoulders float down. The only thing that doesn't let go is my belly, pulling those abs in, right? One more time, stay here in your neutral. Now, if neutral is where you want to stay, go ahead, stay there. Otherwise, push the marble with your nose a little bit. Lift your breastbone a little higher. And you might have to just kind of help yourself with one gentle prop and then hold. Beautiful. Holding here, pulling those abs in strong. Too aggressive. Move the ball farther forward. Holding for 4. My feet are on the floor. 3, 2. We're going to add breaststroke. Thumbs come to your shoulders. When you dive into the water, give me flexion. My thumbs are reaching to the sky. Palms flat to the floor as I circle round. Palms into the side of my body. I lift. If I'm okay, I will also extend the legs. Thumbs to shoulders. Exhale, dive. Inhale, 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 inhale. Hands to the side. Extend those legs. Thumbs to shoulders. Maintain it. And dive. 3 more. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Lift. Exhale and dive. It is a massive inhale in that lengthened position. So right here, give me a really big inhale as you lengthen your spine. And then bring it down. We're going to go one more, you guys. Bring it all the way around. Find those back extensors, as well as the glutes, as well as those are all extensors, right? And then hands to the side and flop over that ball. So if you want to push back into child's pose, if you want a bigger rounding, you can fold over the ball and float forward. If that's too aggressive, come down a bit more neutral in your hips. Recovery's yours. Kind of listen to where your body wants to go. Let your head kind of dangle. Again, if the body doesn't want to go there and the back extensors are feeling good, just sit nice and tall in the spine and kind of give a look to the left, look to the right. Breathe as you go. Wiggle that out. And we're just going to do a little bit of rhomboid squeezes. So you can use the weights if you want. I'm not. Pull all the way forward with your ball. Find your legs in a bit of lateral rotation. Go ahead and slide that ball back into the same spot. Again, you don't have to use the ball. From here, I want my elbows at about 90 degrees out my shoulder joint. My shoulders are down and away. From here, my head is down and they're going to find it in neutral. If I want to hold a bit of extension, I can. That will be more aggressive. Then I'm going to bring my hands up. My palms are a little higher than my elbows, simply because I am at an angle here. And then squeeze your rhomboids and bring your arms down. Exhale, squeeze and lower. So I'm not lifting and lowering my torso. I'm either holding neutral with feet on the ground, nice and strong, reaching away, or I'm slightly extended in my spine as I lower lift. Let's go 3. Don't change your spine. Keep your spine still. Just move your shoulder, retracting into rhomboids and middle traps. Now go ahead and reach those arms all the way behind. If you can get a little more extension, invite it, hold it, and now extend and down. So now it's shoulder extension. Exhale, reach, inhale down. Palms going to the sky as you open. Feeling good, stretch those legs to straight, lift your feet an inch. Woo. Let's go 4. Entire posterior line is working. 3. Abs up and in strong. 2. And last one, bring those arms forward and press out for that little stretch, you guys. Again, your stretch is to you. I can fold, I can be lateral, I can come up into beach pose and give a little left, right. Inhale, exhale. Exhale, I don't know what an exhale is, but we're doing it. Again, once you start to feel stronger in the back extensors, all those movements here, you could definitely use a set of weights with, right? If I'm stabilizing and I'm not losing my core connection, I can always add resistance to a movement if I'm sure I'm not kind of flopping all over the place in my core. I know my body's not holding that very nicely today, so I'm not going to add that. So from here, we're going to go cat-cow, coming right up onto the knees. I'm just going to hug that ball a little bit between my inner thighs, find a small rib hip check, reach to the sky. I'm going to come around the corner, tuck that tailbone under. Try not to sit back on your booty. Get the rounding in your thoracic and cervical to achieve it. Walk the ball out. It's only going to get to a certain point where your body's going to go, oh, I'm going to dump forward. And that's where you're going to put a bit more pressure into the ball and you're going to roll out onto the palms. I'm going to try and drop down into my shoulders. Maybe my head will go to the floor or not. Doesn't matter. Inhale, exhale a little bit. Get into a little bit of a cat position, or sorry, cow position. Now drop your tailbone heavy. Try not to sit back on your heels. Round your spine to come all the way up. Leave the ball there on this first one. Find your rib hip. Lie back in your thighs. Lie back in your thighs. Now that's okay. I could roll my shoulders back, keep this, and then just lengthen. So I am getting some extension into my thoracic, which goes right down past that floating rib, right? So as you go back there, you might feel a little archy, but that lower back lumbar should stay pretty still. It'll just feel the pressure of that extension. And then roll it down. Press that out. Go ahead and stay here for a moment. If you're tight in the shoulders, in this position, drop your elbows, let your head go down. You'll get a nicer stretch, which is a lower lever here, right? So instead of being with the arms up, I've bent my elbows, dropped them, and I'm getting a stretch still. Drop your tailbone heavy, round your spine, walk the ball in, roll it up. Now, keeping the ball in your hands to go over is going to be more aggressive on the shoulders. So if you want the ball, but you're tight, ball in one hand. Rib hip, lengthen back in your upper torso and your quads. Then go ahead and lift that heart, open it, big breath here. Don't catapult, come up with control in the thoracic and the neckline. Draw yourself up. Stay here, switch the ball side or keep it centered or don't use the ball at all. Lie back with your quad, rib hip, strong, strong, strong. Lift the heart, give me a little opener. Bring it up carefully, all the way in. Beautiful. So we're going to go a little pigeon. I am going to hugely modify my pigeon. So I'm going to come up to one knee, drive this leg forward. Now, if you know you've got pigeon, go right down into it. I do not right now. So this ball is going to go into my butt cheek. I'm going to put it there and slowly bring my glute into the ball so it's giving me some love. From there, I'm going to square myself up so I'm facing forward. That ball may not be big enough. If you are super tight, you might need a bigger block underneath you. If you can fold down, go ahead. If you want to lengthen up and get more back hip flexor stretch, draw yourself up. So both are good. Decide kind of where you need to go. Inhale, exhale. Now, if you have double pigeon in you, go ahead. Not happening in this body. If you've got it, go there, right? You guys know your options. Then when you get into a movement, if you're like, yeah, no, I could go deeper to feel more out of this, please do. Nice big breath. And then I'm going to put both hands to the front, tuck this foot in a little bit towards my pubic bone, and then I'm going to bring that knee in to allow me to shift out of that. Kind of wiggle around a little bit. Put that ball so that initially it's my greater trochanter, and then it's my butt, and then it's almost my hamstring butt that end up being on the ball once I'm set. So I'm really quite sitting on that ball. I'm going to bring that other leg forward so it's parallel with the front of my mat. And I'm going to try and get this back leg to tuck behind and then straighten out my torso if at all workable. And you're going to notice on this side, I'm not achieving that straight. And that's okay. Feeling a little too much pull in the back leg, you can bend it out a bit. Maybe you're just focusing on the front leg versus the back. Both are good. I can fold down, I can lengthen up, kind of go where your body wants to go. Once you've started to open this hip, if a double pigeon's feeling good, go for it. Couple cycles of breath here. The bigger the breath, the slower the breath, the more you'll pull into the stretch. Try not to breathe staccato and panicky, right? We want to relax the shoulders, we'll let the head dangle. If you want to do, if your neck is sore, you're going to do that blockhead. Just breathe into that. And then bring those hands underneath you, tuck your heel in towards your pubic bone, bring that knee forward. So now we're just sitting nicely on the side of our hip, and we're going to come out of that. Put that ball off to the side, fingers reaching forward, find your little down dog. Go ahead and play here a little bit, you guys. Prance through those toes, drop your shoulders away from your ears. We are in a plank-ish position, so your abs should be gently drawn in. Leave those feet flat if you can and sink deeper. Not happening. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Need to go wider because the hips are gripping. Go ahead and go wider. Not a big deal. And then you're slowly going to walk your hands into your feet. 4, 3. Hand goes flat, right? My hand goes flat, not fingertip. Can't do that. Bend your knees to get there. 2 and 1. We're all the way in. Bend the knees. I'm going to widen my legs. I'm going to find a ragdoll. Back is tight. Elbows on your quads or your shins. or dangle. Look through your legs. Let your head be at the end of your spine. And then slowly bend the knees. If you need support, put your hands on your quads. If the back is miffy and the hips are miffy, support so that you're not pushing your weight into your hips. Roll it forward. Now, if you know you like to finish with a little reset, kind of wiggle, have your legs quite wide, gently push. So if I had those, you know, some people have those little dimples in the back of their back. That's my PSIS. If I put my thumbs theoretically in that position, and I don't thrust, but I very gently push the hips forward and roll open, I'm going to get a little back extension happening in the lumbar spine. Now, if that's aggressive and it's too much weight, the pubic bone gently goes to the wall so that the weight is on my pubic bone a little bit more, much more forgiving. I can maybe get a bit more extension without feeling I'm jamming. Give a little wiggle and a jiggle. Turn and face the front, and let's take a breath, guys. Nice strong inhale at the top. Exhale, hands down, center heart. Let's go the other direction. I'm going to spread out my fingers, pull my palms back, reach for the sky, reach for the sun, bring that wide to the side. Now, right here, I'm going to take my hands behind me, lift my breastbone as I circle around all the way through. Roll those shoulders, wiggle those fingers, and we are done.